G'day, I'm Garry Pye. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to use facial animation in Cartoon Animator to give more expressiveness, more smooth movement to your characters in 2D animation. You can get some amazing results using some of the tools that Cartoon Animator has, like the facial detail settings, the 360 head, all the deform, the transform tools. There's so much. You can get into your character and basically animate every muscle, every twitch, everything you possibly want. So let's get across to Cartoon Animator and I'll show you how to bring your characters to life and make them look a little more realistic. Okay, so on screen we have my character, Clang. And at the moment I have the dialogue applied to him. I have the manual keyframing of the lip syncing applied to him, and I have the actual head movement applied to him. What I don't have is the facial animation of movement of things like eyebrows and blinking and things like that, or the body movement. So take a look at this before we begin.
Garry Pye makes great tutorials for Cartoon Animator.
Okay, let's go back to frame 1 and let's give Clang a little bit more expressiveness on his face. Let's show the timeline, get rid of the project, open up Clang, and open up his face tracks. We don't need the voice clip, we can get rid of that. Okay, we don't need any tracks you don't need, get rid of them. Makes life so much easier. Okay, what we will need here, let's have a look and see what we think we're going to. Oh, blinking, let's start with blinking. Once I've applied lip syncing, and I've blocked out my general movement, I will usually add in blinking. In this case, we don't have any body movement in yet. That's okay. So what we'll do is we can add the blinking in anyway. So, and you know, a really good way, here's a good tip. Great way to learn blinking. Read the dialogue out yourself or read along with the character and perform the actions and think about when you blink. Because one time that I always think blinking is very important is whenever we change focus to look at something. If I look over there, as I look over there and I look back, I tend to blink as I do it. And also with pauses in speech. When you're talking and you stop talking for a second, which I rarely do, but when you stop talking for a second, you tend to blink. It's like a pause and we move on. Here we go. Let's see when we're getting to first blink.
Garry Pye makes great tutorials for...
Oh my gosh, I don't even feel like he needs a blink.
Garry Pye makes great tutorials for Cartoon Animator.
Oh, that's a hard one. I don't even feel like he needs a blink.
Garry Pye...
All right, that would be the spot.
Garry Pye...
There. Garry Pye coming off the pie. It'll be pie lifted up. Okay, here we go. All right, so about there. Okay. Oh, here's a good tip. You know when blinking is a really helpful tool? If you've got two mouth sprites that swap and are really quite different in shape and scale, if you put a blink in at the same time, it's not quite as obvious to the viewer because you've got multiple things changing at once that your eye has to focus on. I do that all the time. Good tip. Okay, so let's go with, we're just going to give him a standard sprite blink. I'm not going to do a smooth blink on this character. We're just going to do a standard sprite swap blink. So we'll go from there to eye close. Eye close, you'll see, let's get rid of the mouth. We don't need the mouth tracks here. We do need the eye sprite tracks for now. And there's one. Where's the other one? There's the other one. So this, the sprite track, the track with the S on it, is the track that controls sprites. So when we apply a sprite, it will drop a keyframe in. So from there to there, his eye will be open, and then he'll blink. Now, the timing of the blink is important. How long he blinks. Generally, I use 4 frames. You can use 6 on slower speech, 3 on faster. 4 usually does the trick. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then come back to the eye sprite that we were using before. So now you just get your blink in like this.
Garry Pye makes...
Yeah, that's right. Good.
Garry Pye makes...
I wonder what would happen if we just make that blink just 1 frame longer.
Garry Pye makes...
Yeah, I think that works better. If you want the blink to be a little smoother, not as smooth as using facial detail settings. But if you want the blink to be a little bit smoother, what you could do would be to start by going into the eye squint so that it's half down, move forward, go into the complete blink, and then come out of it. So you do that. Yeah, that works quite well. In fact, so that they're the same time, I would probably take them back a frame, take them back a frame. This way, there's an even amount of time. Let's have a look. Yeah, that works. I've never done that before. I just learnt something new. Now, instead of having to do that process over and over, what you can do is to drag a square over all of the frames for the blink, and they'll all highlight, and then right-click, copy, and then work out when you want to put your next blink in and just paste it in there so you don't have to go through this process all the time. So let's have a look and see when the next one is. Here we go.
Garry Pye makes great tutorials.
Yeah, coming off tutorials.
Tutorials. Great tutorials.
Out there, I think. So let's, I love that screenshot. Let's have a look.
Garry Pye makes great tutorials for cartoon.
Yeah, good. Let's do it again.
Garry Pye makes great tutorials for Cartoon Animator.
Now, let's, do we have him open up his eyes completely when he says Cartoon Animator as a way of highlighting it? I think that's a good idea. So if we go, here we go. We can go straight into the eye like that. So you can go. I tend not to do that. I don't like just, I like to have a blink before a swap. I don't know why, it's just me. So if we were to drop our blink into there, I feel like he needs to go up on, open his eyes up on the 8er. But it's too far away. I feel like he needs to open up there. Do you know what I mean? Like, so, can we bring these in line with that? Now I'm thinking we don't... Oi! I just deleted everything. I don't think we need those two keyframes. We can go straight into that one. So you can go straight from the blink into that on this occasion. So you'll go...
Cartoon Animator.
Yeah, so it's... He's excited about that.
Cartoon Animator.
Then I would put the last blink in. Or will he hold?
Cartoon Animator.
No, we don't need that. Okay. So now we've got the blink in place, right?
Garry Pye makes great tutorials for Cartoon Animator.
Now, see how his iris of his eye is looking forward the whole time? That's okay. Like, that's what he's doing. He's talking to you, so he's looking forward. But your eyes don't do that. Your eyes don't just lock on or else it becomes a stare. If you're casually talking to somebody, as your head moves, your eyes are going to move around as well. So what I would do is to go into the Morph tab of the Face Key Editor, highlight the eyes. Now that we've got the eyes highlighted, if I click and drag outside of this space, anywhere I click and drag, the eyes are going to move around. Okay? So, what we need to do is to go to the, where are you? We need to go to the face clip. Okay. Each of those little dots on the head timeline track represent motion of his head as it moves around. It's essentially as the gizmo moves around, that's moving. This time around, we're going to work on the iris. So that's going to affect the eye timeline. We'll worry about the face in a minute. So as he moves around, as he moves his head to different spots, what I would be doing is to bringing his eyes back to focus on you in the center. Because That way, you're getting a little bit more motion into the head because your eyes don't stay still as you move. Your eyes are moving in. Your iris is moving independently of the rest of your eye. So as he moves around. Oh, and if you want to hold the eyes in place, press go onto the timeline track for the eye timeline. Hit the V key, and the eye will stay in place. Okay. Go. See now, as he goes back, hit the V key. As he goes back, I would move the eyes just that tiny little bit, and then bring them back, and you're going to get that nice little motion there. See, the eyes just get that little bit of a flutter to them. I don't know. It's all, you know what it is? It's all about trying to make your characters not look like a cardboard cutout anymore. You don't want your character to just move around the screen like that. You want to bring it to life. You want to get all that dynamic movement in there. All the tools you need are in Cartoon Animator. You just got to work with them and be patient. Here we go.
Garry Pye makes great tutorials.
Okay, now the eyes haven't moved in that whole section. Okay, when his eye goes to there, when his head turns, I would bring the eyes back a bit. He's focusing on you. He needs to be looking at you. Now it holds for a second before the head moves. So when it holds, put in a key, hold it there. Again, you don't want the eyes constantly bouncing around and fluttering. It's going to look ridiculous. But you want them moving enough. Here we go. When he moves that way, have the eyes move back again a little tiny bit. So, and always check on your progress. Don't get to frame 3000 and then go, oh, now I'll watch my video back. Don't do that. Play it back. Every time you make a decent amount of change, play it back.
Garry Pye makes great tutorials.
Right. But see, now we've got all this space here. So, all right, when he dips his head, hold it to there, V key, then he's going to dip his head. As he dips his head, we're going to bring his eyes up just a tiny little bit, just so there's movement there. Then it'll go back to where it was. Oh, also, here's a tip. There, his eyes are in place, then they go up, then they come back. Now, I could easily copy and paste these keyframes across to here and have them go back to the exact same place. But I like things to not always be perfect. I don't like symmetry. I don't think everything has to move at exactly the same pace. Sometimes being a little bit off, like if he looks up there and when he looks back, he's looking back at a little bit different spot. I don't know, I like that. It looks less digital and a little bit more hand-drawn, my opinion. There we go. Now, here we go. Tutorials. Now, there's nothing happening here. All I would do is to just put in just a tiny little bit of movement. Doesn't have to be a lot. It's just to keep the eyes alive. That's the word. Oh, move too far. Move too slow. You don't want the eyeball. The eyeballs have got to move faster. Here we go. So there. It's almost like he was just getting his focus back somewhere else. I'm coming back to you. Yeah, that's good.
Garry Pye makes great tutorials.
Now, at this point, I wonder if we could have him look up. Like, yeah, okay. Let's just so it's a little bit more exaggerated. Which way? Which way do we go? That way or that way? What looks better? You can't answer me. This is pre-recorded. I think he's a Cartoon Animator. He's looking off to the other side. Yes. So. Or does he look the other way and then back? Yep, I think the right thing to do is to have him look backwards and then forwards. So we're going to go, here we go. So we're going to go. He's going to look up and backwards. And then his eyes wouldn't hold forever there. We'll bring it back up to the top. And then I'm thinking, pop them down to grab your attention. Now, interestingly, because he does that with the eyes open, I don't feel like the head bobs enough. So this is the beauty of Cartoon Animator, that if you've got an animation half done and then you go, oh, I'd like the head to move a different direction, you can go back 100 frames and make those changes. I love that. So, because what I want to do here, when he says animator, I want his head to come down further and really throw it up. So it's going to be Cartoon no. So here on the head, we can grab the gizmo, as long as we're on this keyframe, grab the gizmo, bring it down, and but what I want to do, I'll have to have it hold for a second because he can't just bob his head back. So copy, there, paste it in, then move forward. Now he's flicking that up too hard, isn't he? He's still flicking that up too hard. So I would bring that along, just keep playing, bring it along. There we go. And then a little bit of a distance between that one. Here. Yeah. Now, what I'm looking at is when he says ta, animator, I want that to... Oh yeah, that's right. Now, when he does that, when he drops the head, I want the blink to be longer. So it's animator, where he's bringing it up. So what we need to do is to go down to the eye sprites now, and we can play around with this blink. Because here, I feel like I want to go into the blink early. Oh, you can just bring that back. Bring that back. Bring that back. And here we go. But I want to hold it. Here we go. That's better. Now, back to the eyes. You see what I mean, though? That you can tweak all these little bits and pieces on the fly. That's what I love about this. You know what? A lot of people will write out storyboards and work out all their shots. I don't feel you even need to do that unless you're telling a really long story, because you can just make it up as you go along. That's the most fun about this. Okay, so back to we go. Now, when he does that, I'm thinking I want the eyes to go up and almost bounce down like marbles. So now there, let's bring him right down. He's looking to the ground. Although that one can come down a little bit further. That one can stay up here. Just so that we can actually see it. Here we go. Now, at this point here, V key on the eyes. We're going to have the eyes, because he's flung his eye back. So therefore, as you fling it back and then the eye will come forward, we're going to have the eyes fly up into the air. And then come back to the center to hold your attention. So he comes. That's better. Love it. So here's what we've got so far.
Garry Pye makes great tutorials for Cartoon Animator.
So now we've put in the eye movement and the blinking to go with the head movement and the lip syncing, and we're slowly starting to build up a full character performance. Now, another thing that you can do here is the eyebrows. We can go in and have the eyebrows. They can become part of the face movement as well. And I find the eyebrows are very much like a highlighter pen on a piece of paper. I find they're very, very good at highlighting words that you want to have highlighted. That's what I like about them. So let's get back in and I'll show you eyebrows. Okay, so to do the eyebrows, let's turn off the head gizmo because we're not going to use that now. Let's go to, I'll show you one way of doing it. We'll do the transform setting. You can use transform, or actually you can use transform or template. Okay? Oh no, we'll use detail settings on this one. We'll do transform on another one. So with your eyebrows in the face detail settings, you've got all these wonderful sliders that will change all different parameters for shape and movement of the eyebrows. Okay, so but you need to know where those changes take place on the timeline for the eyebrows, and that is under the face clip on the face track. Okay, so the face track is responsible for any part of the face that's the shape of the eye, not including the eyeball, but the face, the shape of the eye, the eyebrows, mouth, anything that's attached to the face, that's what that's going to control. So let's work out when we want the eyebrows to move around.
Garry Pye makes...
All right, to start with, I would start the eyebrows just a little bit lower. Okay, let's start from a lower position so that when he says, Garry, we've got room now. By starting in the middle, we've got room to go up or down. We've got room to play. Okay, so that's why I'm going to start there. Here we go.
Garry.
Right. So when he says Garry, I just have him just raise up a little bit. So he's fine till the start.
Yep. Yep.
There. So if we put in a keyframe there by hitting V on the keyboard, then move forward, and we want them to raise back a little bit. Okay, see the keyframe turn up to show us where we are. So now, you hardly even see it. Actually, you really do hardly even see it. Let's take it up a little bit more because this is a cartoon character after all. Here we go. Right, what goes up must come down. So, Garry, come back, drop them down again. Now you could just as easily copy that frame to there, but I like to do it manually. Here we go. See, so now you've got that little inflection of Garry on the eyebrows. And you will do the same on Pye. You ready? Okay, we're going to do the same on Pye. So they're going to hold. We're going to hold to there. So put in a keyframe. Now this time around, I want it to go higher because it's Garry Pye. He's gone up a little bit higher. You watch. There we go. Now, I would hold the eyebrows up for a little. Oops! I would hold the eyebrows up for a little bit. Oh no! Bring them back down. Let's bring them back down a little bit. Up and down and up and down. Here we go. Makes. And again, there's no right and wrong here. There's no A to Z of how to do this. It's just watch and learn. That's all it is. Here we go. There we go. Now, when he says makes, because we know he's going to go up to great tutorials, okay? So we need it to come down so that we can go up. So from makes, maybe hold for a second, and then bring them back down. So we can go right back up. Now, if you want to, you can even raise it higher past that point, but we won't do that yet. We're going to do that at the end. So now, great. Now, again, I would start bringing it back down, just slowly. Bring it down to that middle section, so they can go back up on tutorials. Chew. Hold it. Down. Oddy.
Garry Pye makes great tutorials.
Now in this case, he goes tutorials. He actually lifts and then lifts higher. So we need to go up a little bit further again. Doesn't need to be a lot. Yeah, it probably would be. Go up a little bit higher again. There we go. But we need to start coming back down. What goes up must come down. Okay. Go. Get rid of that one. Get rid of that one. And the drop. We want them to come back down again. Because we're going to go to Cartoon Animator, we're going to take it up. Here we go. Hold it there. Now, bring it up. then bring it back down on tune. We're going to go up again. Hold it there. Now let's go up on Animator. Oh, hang on, he's going to bring his head forward, isn't he? Ah. And leave him there. Now we want to go up fast. Take it up, take it up, and really bring him up. Really sell that last line. I love that look on his face. Here we go.
Tutorials for Cartoon Animator.
There we go. But I would, even though you're going to hold it up there, I would still bring it back a little bit. Back to normal. Okay, so this is what we end up with.
Garry Pye makes great tutorials for Cartoon Animator.
So that'll just about do us for this video. Now, the facial detail settings, you can get in there with the nose, the eyes, the eyebrows, the mouth. You can tweak all of that exactly the same as I did the eyebrows there. So have some fun, play with it, and don't forget, once you apply all of these different layers of animation, from lip syncing to blinking to head movement, 3D head rotation, body movement. Once you apply it all and you start building it all up on layers, I'm going to show you exactly how this video will turn out. But for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye now.
Garry Pye makes great tutorials for Cartoon Animator.